Would you like to know how to personalize a sublimated image with a name? If you do, you're in the right place. Let me show you how I did this. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to be using my HTV Ront Auto Tumbler Press, these two gold tumblers that I got from Heat Transfer Warehouse, the images that I got from Creative Fabrica, my sublimation printer, and Silhouette Studio. And I'm going to show you all the things. I'm going to show you how to print. I'm going to show you how I put the names on here to personalize these and the settings for using the HTV Ront Auto Tumbler Press. At the end of this video, if you find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and head over to the computer. The materials I'm using for this tutorial include the HTV Ront Auto Tumbler Press, 2 gold tumblers that I purchased from Heat Transfer Warehouse. I took one out of the package so you'll be able to see it a little better. I'm using my heat resistant mat. This is the Cricut brand. Heat resistant gloves, my little finger knife, a weeding tool, the Cricut self-healing mat, my Cricut ruler, butcher paper, and I will also be using some Cricut heat resistant tape. The 2 images that I'm using were downloaded from Creative Fabrica, and I will be using Silhouette Studio to print. My printer is an Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer, and I have Hippo sublimation ink inside. My sublimation paper is A-Sub sublimation paper. Now, without further ado, let me show you very quickly how I set up the images to be printed from Silhouette Studio. I'm in the business edition of Silhouette Studio, and for my page settings, I have my page set up to, for machine, I have none, cutting mat, also none, media size 8.5 by 11, and I have it really set for my orientation to be on landscape. What I'm going to do is go to File and Open. I'm going to go to the butterfly files that I just downloaded from the Creative Fabrica website. And I am going to start with this one right here. I'm going to click OK. And when the file comes in, I am going to resize it. I'm going to unlock it right here, changing the width to 9.4, and I'm changing the height to 8.0. And I'm going to just click off of the image. I'm going to go over here to the text option in the left panel, click in the box and type the name. I'm making this for a friend of mine whose name is Veronique, V-E-R-O-N-I capital Q-U-E. And what I'll do now is go up here in the top panel and change the font option. I'm using one that's called Samantha Upright. Let's click here and let's try that again. I'm using a font that's called Samantha Upright. I'm going to right click on the text and I'm going to ungroup it just so I have a more accurate size of the text, and then I'll group it together again. So I'll just click group. Now what I'll do is go over here to the right panel. I'm going to go to the 4th option, which is the fill panel, and I'm changing the text to black. And I'll go to the 5th option, which is the line style panel, and I'll go over here to the right and I'll make sure to turn off the red outline. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll right click on her name and I will weld it, and then I'll group it together again. So it's all together and it's going to look nice. Now what I want to do is, with her name selected, I'm going to go to Object and Rotate. I want to rotate it by 90 degrees, and I'm going to put it on the paper, and I don't want her name to be too overpowering over the tumbler or even the image. I do want it to be a little bit bigger though. And I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger like that. I think this is beautiful. And because all of this excess white paper is going to be cut off anyway, I'm going to just put her name here so that when all of this prints, it'll print together and I can cut this and put it wherever I want to put it. Okay, now what I'll do is go over here and click File and Print, and I will click Print again. And I'm selecting my Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer. I'm going to move this over and click Preferences, and I will go to my sublimation preset with the mirror on, and I'm making sure that my option is in landscape. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click Print. I'll get a print preview, which should be mirrored. Okay. Let's see, this is excellent. I'll click print and everything I'll do from here will be back on the camera. I am going to set this tumbler press to 390 degrees. So I'm going to press the temperature option and I'm going to go up to 390. And I'm going to press the time option and I'm going to go up to 70 seconds. And I'll let this heat up. While this is heating up, I will be cutting her name and this excess white from here, and I'll cut the excess white from the top. I know this is not going to wrap completely around the tumbler, and I'm perfectly fine with that because where it doesn't meet, her name will be in the middle of that. Now I'll just grab the other tools that I'll need to accomplish this task, and we will get started. What I'm doing right here is using my finger knife to cut away the excess white, and I'll cut her name away from the image. Now I have removed the lid and I'm just going to double check. What I'm going to do now is cut away the excess white from the top and bottom of the paper, and then I will start to get the image taped to the tumbler. And so what I'm going to do is actually cut around her name. I'm just going to cut very close to her name. And I'll tape it down. What I'm doing is holding her name in place, and I'm holding the tumbler securely, and I'm going to tape it right there on the seam, and I will start to add tape all down the seam, and I'm making sure to pull it very tightly. Now I'm going to wrap the tumbler in butcher paper, and I'll make sure the seam is at the bottom, and I'm going to sublimate the bottom part first. I have the temperature set to 390 degrees, and I am going to let this do a full 70-second press, and then I'll rotate it again after the first press. First tumbler is being pressed. I'm preparing the paper for the second tumbler. You can see I've rotated the first one, and we will continue. Now my first tumbler is finished. Let me grab my gloves and let's see how this turned out. Remember, I did 390 degrees Fahrenheit, and I rotated it after 70 seconds, and I pressed it again for an additional 70 seconds. I typically don't let my tumblers cool off. I peel them while they are still hot. I am not very patient when it comes to this. Now, I can already tell you I love the way this turned out. I absolutely love it, and the camera does not do these tumblers any justice. This is gorgeous. I've already given it to my friend and she loves it too. And now we are going to prepare to sublimate the second tumbler, which is for me. I know you can see my name right there on the table. All right, here is the moment of truth. Let's take it out here. Ooh, it's very hot. Let me power this off and move it over. And let's get a good look at this. See how it did with my handy dandy weeding tool. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. So this is how mine turned out. And this is how the other one turned out. Hopefully you have found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.